Hello, Amit. Welcome to DC Conversations. So, first of all, tell us about Virtusa Corporation.
If you look, Virtusa is a very, very long-standing organization. We have been in existence for almost close to 30 years. And we are a platform and product engineering company. Means you have been hearing about a lot of digital engineering and digital transformation buzzword now and AI-led transformation. Some of this, we have been doing this for a long time with a lot of large enterprise clients. We serve clients across different different industry vertical like banking, insurance, healthcare, technology, communication and teleco. And all these are global clients. We serve clients across geographies, whether it's Americas, whether it's a UK, Middle East, Australia, Asia Pacific. So fairly global company in existence for long. Engineering heritage, that's what we call. Engineering first is our tagline. We have DNA of engineers, and that's what we feel proud of. So that's kind of give you a bit more what we do. Rashmi. We are close to 30,000 people globally,
Mm.
and that's what we do.
How are you embedding impact in your business strategy and what are your spends like?
So the way we look at it again, Rasmi, it is not an add-on. Means we keep saying this is part and parcel of the way we operate, the way we serve to our clients. So ESG is very, very fundamental to the strategy which we follow, whether it's part of our business goals, whether it's part of our financial goals, and we kind of focus on three distinct pillars when we look at the whole ESG as an initiative. One we call it is three P's, which is our three E's framework, which is empowerment, education, and the third one is looking at environment. And if you look, all three is very closely connected to the business. To just give you an example, if you look on the education, we are spending a lot of money on creating a long lasting infrastructure. It is a physical infrastructure as well, where we uplift the entire the environment where the students study, whether the physical infrastructure. And then we create a digital environment for them in terms of digital classes, STEM labs, computer labs, and labs on wheels, and upskilling the entire curriculum as well as the way they are taught. So that kind of helps you to build the workforce for which is for the next generation, and it kind of again ties back to the where we are serving the society. If you look from the empowerment perspective, the initiative which we have been driving and working very closely with the entire women empowerment. So we kind of run some of the initiative where we help the working women to commute safely to the offices at all kind of odd hours. We work with the university to come out with a scholarship program where we identify the talent fairly early and help them in their journey of higher education. Again, that kind of again embedded into the way we are driving the workforce upskilling and getting the diversity in the workforce. If you look from the environment perspective, we have been always focused on, means we have committed to net zero. Our target is to get net zero by 2040, both in scope 2 and scope 3.
Mm.
And if you look, renewable energy is again a very key component of the whole thing. Today, we have our short-term goal of becoming 100% renewable energy dependent by 2030. Right now, as an organization, we are running at 93%. And we are looking this whole through technology intervention, saying, ki, hey, how do my data center run more green? How the software which I'm developing for my clients becomes more green? So all of those goes back to which is core to us, which is serving our client through technology. And how do I embed all of this in my end goal, which is serving to the clients? So that's where we kind of intertwine the whole our ESG initiative with our business strategy.
So, talking about technological interventions, I just wanted to know, would you be able to share some examples of how technology is being used to drive positive change?
So I'll give you a couple of examples. Today, if you look at we are building or we have built a model schools where today they didn't had an access to right set of digital platform. What is mean for right set of digital platform? Right set of environment where they can access to the latest technology. What you need? You need physical infrastructure, which is a lab environment. Then you need hardware, which is laptop, servers, all of those access. Then you need tool sets. Finally, end of the day, you have to use the right licenses and all of those. So we have enabled for many of the schools and students all of this from the physical infrastructure to creating digital lab and providing them this access. And sometimes it is just not one time. We continue to monitor and govern with them. Ki, hey, is there a new requirement? So that is a positive change to them. When like when you meet some of the kids from those schools, they what they didn't had an access and it was always thought it's just access to a privilege. Now they have access to that. That will make them the transformation. That will kind of get them excited to the technology. And we always say, right, early you catch them, that's
Yeah.
where they will, and that's what we are trying. Ki, hey, how do we kind of create a positive impact by really creating a long lasting? See, many times people do one time intervention and go and give some money, donate some money. It helps. I'm not saying it does not help, but intent is how do you kind of do a long lasting, which can create what you are talking about, more positive in the long run. And that's where our entire focus has been from technology intervention perspective.
How do you measure the success of your community development projects?
Again, as a finance guy, I always will have a measurement for everything, but I don't want to translate a community
Yeah.
into a KPI. Let me look at it. Some of the things we say, hey, how do you look at positive impact? Do you look at the positive impact by looking at things what was not enabled for them, have you enabled it? The outcome, which when you hear from some of the things which we enabled, you hear from the way the class, what was the outcome of the students which we are studying, what were the results prior, what were the results higher. Those kind of is a long lasting
Yeah.
impact, and that is one KPI. Internal KPIs, obviously we would like to measure in terms of looking at it. Hey, what is that? If we look internal just to Virtusa, what is the carbon transmission I had yesterday? What is my carbon transmission today? Have I reduced it or not? Today, what was my usage or recycling of water? How much is my recycling of water internally? How much of green technology which I was using yesterday? How much I'm using today? So that as a CFO, I will have all of those KPI, which is part of it. But when you look at larger community outreach, I just don't want to translate into so many students, so many teachers. That's not right. Then we will not be doing fair and justice to the initiative which we have been driving. There, the positive outcome what we are looking is saying, ki, hey, have the overall average score run by the school has gone up. Has their
Mhm.
learning capability gone up? How many of them been able to go to the higher education? Those are the things which is not KPI I would like to call, but that's kind of give you the sense of pride that hey, you are doing the right thing, you are investing in the right areas.
When you talk about community development projects, it cannot be really done in isolation. There must be some kind of collaborations that you must have done. So, what's the role of these partnerships in your community impact initiatives?
No, no, definitely, Rasmi, you're absolutely right. And neither we want to do on our own. I don't think we feel we should. I don't think we feel that we will be able to do on our own. We have to work with our partners. We have to rely with our partners because that kind of helps us to. And it's we always say it's 1 plus 1 is not 2. 1 plus 1 is 11, and that's where the partner roles comes in. So they kind of brings in many times the partners help us to identify the right areas. They help us to identify the right set of project where you want to drive some of this intervention because you also want to do the intervention where the impact is the highest. I'll give you a classic example. Means we were talking to some of the folks, and if you are in Bangalore or in Chennai, the areas where we operate, like I operate out of Eco World, there are a few schools around that areas. And if you go to those schools, the partners will tell every corporate wants to work with those schools because they are next to there. If we also do there one more addition, it's not really helping them to then drive change. So we work with our partners to identify, and some of the schools which we have adopted and we are making, they are like 100 kilometers away from Chennai in the deep tribal village where
Mm.
you have very limited access, no other corporate would like to do. Again, we always say our intent is not to create brand here. Our intent is to really create an impact to the society. And that's where the partner roles comes into play. And then they work along with us to make some of these changes. Many of the cases, the partners will continue to monitor the progress on the ground because see many times they have ears and eyes on the ground a lot more than us. So that's where the whole partner ecosystem comes in play, and many times we leverage them as well. We pull in them when we think hey, we have identified certain good projects, and they bring a different kind of, because they are a lot more engaged with the community as well. So that's the way we are working in that ecosystem and leveraging that ecosystem.
How do you see your community impact initiatives evolving in the coming years?
That's what we want to continue to grow. I think we have grown over the last few years. If you look, we are taking larger and bigger projects. Like I said, we have taken a large project where we are building a entire model school from scratch. And you will see now we have done one. In the coming years, we want to do couple of them. And as we expand and grow, we want to drive this change. And like we said, we will focus on these three critical pillars, which is
Mhm.
education.
Mm.
empowerment, and environment. We means this is where we think, hey, these are larger pillars of the society which will have a larger impact in the long term. So you will see all our project finally getting into this three. Like today, we are working with some of the in Hyderabad or in Telangana, some of the Tiger Safari, Nagarole, and all. Again, there we are trying to build solar enabled well, solar enabled power, which will again more sustainable for long term. So
Mm.
it kind of it helps not only in the short term in enabling something, but we think long term that's the right way to go. So we will continue to do lot more of such society program, whether it's looking at wildlife conservation, whether it's looking like lake conservation, whether looking like empowerment and education. That's a core. So I hope we continue to do more. I think team on the ground is continue to look out for always the right side of projects which can have a larger impact to the society.
Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks for your time.